We're in Trafalgar Square and we're going to walk from here along the Strand past Bush House, the home of the BBC World Service, and as far as the Church of St Clement Danes. But before we set off, look towards Whitehall and notice the equestrian statue of King Charles I. After the Civil War, when King Charles was executed, this statue was removed and was supposed to have been melted down, but someone hid it. We'll see where later. At the top of the square we have the National Gallery and St Martin in the Fields. We'll set off now down that road there, Duncannon Street. We'll be walking along the side of the church, and as we get to the end we'll just have a look round this corner up Adelaide Street. Have a look at this memorial to Oscar Wilde. Now walk to the end of Duncannon Street where it joins the Strand. This is the front of Charing Cross Station. Here, when all the scaffolding's been taken down, you should be able to see Charing Cross. It's an Eleanor Cross, but that's another story we haven't done yet. I understand that this structure is a copy anyway, and the original stood on the position now occupied by King Charles's equestrian statue. But let's set off now down the Strand. You will pass on the left the Vaudeville Theatre and the Adelphi Theatre, and if you keep a watch on the right hand side you will catch a glimpse through this gap of the Royal Society of Arts. Now look out on your left for Southampton Street. We'll go up here and have a look at the Covent Garden area, and yes, it did used to be called Covent Garden. There's the Market Building, and down to the right the home of the London Transport Museum. The building no longer houses a market, but instead houses several restaurants and many boutiques. At this end of the square we have the Church of St Paul, Covent Garden. In this area here you will usually find an open-air performance of some kind. All very appropriate. This square is after all very much a tourist area, and St Paul's Covent Garden is known as the Actors' Church. To look inside the church you need to walk down the side to the other end. It was in the vaults of this church that King Charles's statue was hidden. We'll now continue with our walk round the outside of the market hall, and if you look to the northeast corner you could find the Royal Opera House. We've come back down Southampton Street now, back onto the Strand. We are nearly up to St Mary-le-Strand, but look first at this famous clock above a wine merchant's. So now St Mary-le-Strand, the Church of the Wrens, that's the Women's Royal Naval Service. And we can see just beyond it St Clement Danes, the Church of the Royal Air Force. Mr Gladstone has himself a monument here, but in the RAF context, these are the two men to remember. It was Hugh, later Lord Dowding, who built up and organised RAF Fighter Command, with little help from the politicians, so that by the time of the Battle of Britain we had a few Spitfires. It was Arthur Harris, as Chief of Bomber Command, who was told to give the Germans some of their own medicine, and after the war ended was left by the politicians to carry the can. Do have a look in the church and remember these things.